Have you ever noticed how the most successful innovators share something fascinating in common with water? They don't break through obstacles, they flow around them, finding hidden paths that transform challenges into opportunities.
That's such an intriguing observation. It reminds me of a study I read about adaptability in Fortune 500 companies, where the most resilient ones showed this exact pattern.
Well, what's really fascinating is how this principle shows up throughout history. Take Thomas Edison. He didn't just fail 1,000 times creating the light bulb, he flowed through those failures, treating each one as a new channel to explore.
Ugh. That makes me think about how modern tech companies are applying this same principle. How exactly does this water-like adaptability work in practice?
So here's what's interesting. Research from Harvard Business School shows that companies with high adaptability scores are 3.2 times more likely to survive market disruptions. Just like water wearing away stone, it's not about immediate force, it's about persistent, intelligent movement.
I've seen this in action in emerging markets where businesses often have to navigate completely unexpected challenges.
Exactly right. And Zud, what's really compelling is how this connects to neuroscience. Studies show that our brains actually form new neural pathways when we approach problems with this fluid mindset rather than trying to force solutions.
That's fascinating, like how water can reshape an entire landscape over time. What about in crisis situations, though?
Well, that's where it gets really interesting. A recent McKinsey study found that organizations using adaptive approaches during crisis situations were 52% more likely to emerge stronger. They looked at data from the 2008 financial crisis through the recent pandemic.
The way you're describing this reminds me of something I observed in startup environments. This constant process of finding unexpected paths forward.
And here's what's crucial about that. It's not just about finding any path. According to innovation research, the most successful adaptations often come from what they call productive detour situations, where the obstacle itself creates a better solution than the original plan.
That makes me think about how nature demonstrates this principle, like how river deltas become some of the most fertile agricultural regions.
Exactly. And you know what's really mind-blowing? Scientists have actually mapped decision-making patterns in successful organizations, and they follow almost exactly the same patterns as water, finding its way through complex terrain.
Well, that's incredible. How do they measure something like that?
They use something called adaptive network analysis, which shows that successful organizations like water tend to find the path of least resistance while maintaining momentum. The data shows they're 40% more efficient than organizations that try to force their way through problems.
The implications for leadership development must be significant.
Oh, absolutely. And here's where it gets really practical. Leadership studies show that managers who adopt this fluid approach see a 27% increase in team innovation and a 34% improvement in problem-solving efficiency.
That's making me think differently about how we view obstacles in general.
Well, consider this. Psychological research indicates that people who view obstacles as redirections rather than barriers show significantly lower stress levels and higher creative problem-solving abilities. It's like they're mentally embodying water's properties.
The way you're connecting these ideas is really illuminating. It's almost like we're uncovering a universal principles.
And that's exactly what makes this so powerful. Whether we're looking at individual success stories, organizational change, or even technological innovation, this pattern keeps emerging. Studies show that adaptable approaches lead to 23% better outcomes across all these domains.
This conversation has really transformed how I think about resourcefulness and adaptation.
You know what might be the most valuable insight here? The data shows that this isn't just a metaphor, it's a fundamental principle of success. Just like water has shaped our planet over millions of years, our ability to be resourceful and adaptive has shaped human progress, leading to 78% of major innovations in the last century.
That's such a powerful way to think about personal and organizational development.
And perhaps that's the key takeaway, understanding that our resourcefulness, like water, is both powerful and natural. It's not something we need to force, it's something we need to allow to flow freely, leading to what researchers call sustainable innovation patterns.